They say you should never tempt fate, never mock old stories. The townsfolk always warned against hollow pines. They said the forest was ancient, alive in a way we couldn't understand, and that anyone who entered after sundown, well, they didn't always come back, but to us, a group of friends with more curiosity than sense, those warnings sounded like a dare. There were 8 of us. I'm candid. For years, I was the quiet one, the one everyone overlooked. My blessing was the one who always believed in me. Then there was Leah, bold and sharp-tongued, and her protective brother, Victor. James was our joker. Daniel, the bookish one, obsessed with myths. Grace was quiet but observant, and Amaka. Amaka was the reckless one who convinced us this was a good idea. It's just a forest, she laughed. We'll go in, take a few photos, and come back heroes. I felt a knot of dread in my stomach, but I agreed. I didn't want to be the coward everyone thought I was. We crossed into the woods just as the sun set. At first it felt normal, just tall pines and the scent of moss. But as we walked deeper, the atmosphere changed. The trees twisted into unnatural shapes. The air grew still, like the whole forest was holding its breath. And then the whispers started, faint at first, like wind, but then they formed words. Come closer, stay with us. We all heard it. Chills ran down my spine. Victor said, let's head back. But when we turned around, the path was gone, just a wall of tangled trees. Daniel's voice trembled as he read from his notebook. It's one of the legends. Hollow pines shifts after dark. It traps you. Panic set in. We started walking, desperate for a way out, but the forest just seemed to loop back on itself. Then the first scream. It was Grace. We spun around, but she was just gone. Her lantern lay on the ground, its light flickering, and the whispers returned, mocking us. She is ours. She is ours. We ran, our fear turning into pure terror. The forest was alive and it was hunting us. We stumbled into a clearing with a cracked stone altar at its center. Daniel called it the heart of the forest. As we stared, shadows coiled up from the stone, forming hollow-faced figures. They lunged, but I swung my lantern, and they recoiled from the flame. The light, I yelled. They hate the light. We huddled together, our lanterns creating a small, fragile circle of safety, but we knew this was only the beginning. For hours, we pushed through the shifting woods, the whispers following us, sometimes even mimicking Grace's voice. Then the ground split open, revealing a chasm filled with human bones. James, terrified, threw Daniel's notebook into the pit, screaming at him to stop feeding the forest his stories. But that only made it worse. Skeletal hands clawed their way out, grabbing for James. Victor tried to save him, but it was too late. He was dragged in too. The darkness, his screams cut short. Now there were only 6 of us. Exhaustion finally forced us to stop. We huddled together, trying to stay awake, but the forest was relentless. By morning, Amaka was gone too. No struggle, no sound, just an empty space where she had been. The forest was swallowing us one by one. Eventually, our desperate wandering led us right back to the stone altar. We were trapped. Daniel fell to his knees, his eyes wild. It's a gate, he whispered. The tribe made sacrifices here. Maybe, if we give it what it wants, it will let the rest of us go. I stared at him in horror. No, I snapped. We're not feeding it anyone else. But he just looked at me, his face a mask of despair. Then it will take us all. That's the choice. One life for the rest. A terrible silence fell over us. We all knew what he was suggesting. And in that moment, for the first time, I saw doubt flicker in Blessing's eyes. The forest had not only trapped our bodies, it was now poisoning our minds, turning us against each other. Thanks for tuning in. This story is just getting started, and the choices they face get even darker. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next part. You won't believe what happens at the altar.